All right, let's talk about Agile. You've probably heard this word buzzing around, right? In meetings, in job posts, it's everywhere. Today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're going to give you a super clear, practical guide to what Agile really is, and maybe more importantly, how you should think about it.
And you know, this quote from John Dewey, it just nails it. Before we get into any of the methods or the fancy terms, you've got to get this one thing. At its very core, Agile is all about a commitment to learning and adapting constantly. It's an attitude.
So what's the big deal? Why is everyone from a tiny startup to a massive corporation trying to be Agile? Well, it's because Agile makes some really big promises. It's designed to tackle those classic project nightmares we've all lived through. You know, the missed deadlines, the buggy launches, the completely burned out teams.
I mean, just look at what's being promised here. Projects that are actually on time. Software that works well, with fewer bugs. Code that isn't a nightmare to maintain. Users who are genuinely happy. And this last one, this is a big one, a better work-life balance, working normal hours. This isn't just some small tweak, it's a whole different vision for how we can work.
And that brings us to what I think is the most critical idea in this whole explainer. It's the difference between doing Agile and being Agile. Think of it like two sides of a coin. On one side, you have the methods, the practices, and on the other, you've got the mindset.
So let's get a formal definition on the table. Officially, Agile is an iterative, time-boxed approach to managing projects. Now, the key words there are iterative, which just means you work in repeating cycles, and time-boxed, meaning those cycles have a set, fixed length. The whole point, the whole goal, is to get valuable stuff to the customer quickly and often.
And this chart just lays it all out perfectly. Over on the left, you've got Agile as a set of methods. These are the tools, the specific practices, the processes you follow. But on the right, you have the mindset, and that is the culture of it all, the collaboration, the feeling of shared ownership, of empowering the team. The methods are the what you do, but the mindset, that's the how and the why. And honestly, without the mindset, the methods are just empty rituals. Okay, so let's make this feel a bit more real. We're going to take one of the most common Agile practices out there, the daily stand-up meeting, and we'll see how the team's mindset can totally change what that meeting is and what it accomplishes. So the mechanics of a stand-up are super simple. It's a quick meeting, happens every day. You literally stand up to help keep it short. Everyone on the team just quickly shares what they're up to and if they're stuck on anything. Sounds pretty straightforward, right?
But here's the catch. Without that collaborative mindset, that's all it is. It becomes just another status meeting. It's a chore. It's a report for a manager that everyone just wants to get over with so they can get back to their real work. It becomes something you just have to endure.
But you flip the switch on that mindset, and the very same meeting transforms. It's not a boring status report anymore. It's a daily huddle. It becomes a quick, strategic check-in for the team to sync up, to solve problems for each other, and to make sure everyone's pulling in the same direction. The event is identical, but the mindset changes everything.
Okay, so you get it. Mindset is king. Now, let's get you speaking the language. We're just going to do a quick run-through of the essential terms that you're going to hear all the time in an Agile world.
First up, sprints. The easiest way to think about a sprint is as a container for work. It's a set amount of time, usually somewhere between 1 and 4 weeks, where the team says, okay, this is the pile of work we're going to get done. It's this predictable, repeating rhythm of getting things delivered.
And the work inside that sprint is usually defined in user stories. These are just small, simple descriptions of a feature, but told from the point of view of the person who's actually going to use it. And that classic format, as a user, I need to do something so that I get some benefit, is brilliant because it forces you to always think about who you're building for and why they even care. So, how do you figure out how much work you can fit in a sprint? This is where story points come in. And this is a huge shift for a lot of people. Story points measure complexity and effort, not hours. It's not about how long will this take. It's about how hard is this really compared to other things we've done. And look, you don't have to get crazy with this. A really simple 1-3-5 scale works great for a lot of teams. Is this task pretty simple? It's a 1. Is it kind of tricky? A 3. Is it really complex? It's a 5. This keeps things moving fast. Don't overthink it. Now, when you have a user story that's just way too big and complex to finish in one sprint, we call that an epic. Just think of it like a big folder that holds a major feature. Your job, then, is to break that big epic down into a bunch of smaller, manageable user stories that you can finish in a sprint.
So where do all these stories and epics live? In a backlog. And there are two you need to know. The product backlog is the giant master wish list of everything that could possibly go into the project. The sprint backlog is the small, focused to-do list that the team has committed to for this current sprint. One is the road atlas for the entire country. The other is your itinerary for the next 2 weeks.
A lot of this work is often focused on building an MVP, or minimum viable product. Now, this doesn't mean a buggy, incomplete product. It means the absolute simplest version of the product that successfully solves a core problem for your user. It's all about delivering real value and getting real feedback as fast as you possibly can.
I absolutely love this analogy for the MVP principle. Don't build a rocket if all you need is a paper plane. And you know what? If it turns out you do need a rocket down the line, you start by building that paper plane, then maybe a glider, then a propeller plane. You deliver value at every single step instead of making people wait years for the perfect final thing.
So let's put this all together. After everything we've talked about, what's the one big thing you absolutely have to take away from all this?
It's this, right here. It is the mindset, not just the methods. The tools we talked about, the sprints, the story points, the backlogs, they're simple and they're really powerful. But they only work their magic when the team buys into a mindset of collaboration, of flexibility, and of truly shared ownership for what they're building.
So, I'm just going to leave you with this question to think about. Learning the tools, that's the easy part. The real work, the real challenge, is shifting the culture. So, is your team or your whole company really ready to make that shift?